And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Strategic Command World War I, where I think the Russians are about to give up. And honestly, to some degree, I don't blame them. Things are not going their way. Things are not going their way at all. Okay, so that's the Austro-Hungarian Eastern Front. And where's the Parson? The Parson's there. Okay, so we want one there. And we'll put you on sleep mode, so we need to remember to not move you. Same here. We're going to put you in sleep mode because we remember not to move you. Otherwise the Parsons may flare back up again. Got 6 shells and 5 shells. Okay. So I think it is time to open fire. Do you want to recon run first? Yeah, let's recon run the more dangerous one. Let's up the extra shell for a little bit of shell for an extra bit of good luck. I don't think there's any Parsons in there now. We do want to hold into that port, so we'll put the detachment in the port. And yeah, so we're going to be pushing towards Cairo. This time, this is obviously the second game I've run this far in. I did do this over the previous break. This one's going much better. The last time I only had 1 artillery piece down here, so we're going much faster in the push to Cairo, because we brought down the Bulgarian artillery piece. Yeah, so we'll deal with that partisan. These guys, unless the British are having really big supply problems, are probably not going to attack. Yeah, no, we're just going to hold where we are. Got another detachment coming down. You want to get upgraded. At least artillery 1. I probably don't need a 3rd artillery piece down here, but we'll probably bring it down. German Corps, are you fully upgraded? No. Oh, and that's a detachment. We'll leave the detachment down here. Get you on the rail lines, we can rail you out. Get you on the rail lines, we can rail you out. We can rail you No, you're not fully upgraded. Oh, of course, we picked up infantry weapons too, and I haven't had time to upgrade any of the guys with it. 2.6 is tempting. We'll take the 2.6. Get an upgrade. Artillery weapons too. Okay, we'll delay the... No. Enough shells. Let's just dump all the shells, and then we can upgrade next turn, and then the turn after that we'll have full shells again. Sounds like a plan. Good attack there. You can get upgraded, okay. Let's take the upgrades on the guys in the back. So they can be ready to become the guys in the front. Yeah. I think most of the guys over here have moved, yeah. The weather's making it hard, but it isn't making it impossible to take swings at these guys. Okay, full healed? Okay. Yeah, logistics is terrible out here. What are we up to now? We're now up to 5. Okay, so it should be getting better. The snow isn't helping, is what's happening there. Snow is not helping. Okay, obviously it's not hex. No one on that one, but not in a position to really take advantage of that, change anything with that. Okay. So yeah, we're going to slowly grind the Russians down in the pocket. We'll have to stop every once in a while for units to heal as they wear out, but at this point, I think simply the destruction of the pocket will cause the Russians to collapse. So that's a thing. Submarine coming in damaged. You're outbound. Oops. You've got 7 supply points, so you're not going to be out for very much longer. But keep you running up and down the lines. We swap you to surface, run you over to the other line. You get there without getting hit by anyone? Yes. A little low on hit points. A little bit of unrestricted naval warfare here. Yeah, I think that's the subs. At least the subs up there. Subs down in the Mediterranean are without opposition at this point. Real opposition, at least. That's gotta be a bad day. When the anti-subgroup, the sub decided, no, we're not running from you. You need to run from us. Yeah, that probably wasn't worth trying. Don't bomb them in port. That's not worth doing. Yeah, that wasn't very effective either. Although at that point, that's pretty much telling us I don't think they have any subs in the Adriatic. Unless they snuck one into that port. They have. The DD is out of position, I think, for exploiting the info here. Not quite. We get blapped in return, whereas... Yeah, that's my luck. Granted, we haven't really picked up an anti-sub warfare, so it's me not investing in the subs actually being good subs. Okay. You want to be reconned and artillery? Now, I could take that hex this turn, but we're not going to. We're going to let them repossess it if they want. That is a national morale objective, so we will want to take it at some point. What I don't want to do is I don't want to take it and not be able to hold it. The French can get the national morale back from taking their national morale objectives back. They're the special group that does that. Bit of a shame that my artillery over here can really only hit the British. I'm planning to try to get the French to surrender. But it is what it is. Okay. Of course, I happen to find that behind the British here is most of the French artillery. So we'll be able to dink some French artillery. If we succeed on a breakthrough here, which I think we will. Are you just not even dug in? Just realized we have a spot in the line that isn't dug in. Okay. Zero 06 or 06. We'll take that 06. Back you out, push you in, and you can dig in. I have enough to pull you out. I kind of do, actually, yes. Back you into that trench, so you at least get entrenchment there. French lost a unit. French got a dinked artillery piece, and they can reform the line if they want to. You're one of my reserve ones. We'll upgrade you the mobility as well. Purchase. We did lose a corps in the last turn, so let's get it being replaced with full upgrades. Oh, and 2-5's dink. We'll take the dink. Oh, that would be a bit of a stretch. We'll do it. Get a good roll, we destroy it. We don't get the good roll. That's fine. Okay. This is January. Yeah, I think that's all we're going to do this turn. Maybe been a bit of a smaller turn because the weather's starting to turn to poo. But the weather isn't enough to stop us, and that's maybe a bad sign for the Entente. As I think Russia is about to be done for. Oh, yeah, Russia's about to be done for. Okay. Research as these guys got 60. Well, we got 90 to spend, but we can only spend 60. Question is, what would we pick up? Can't pick up more fighter. Can't pick up more tank. Well, we can pick up more fighter if the fighter completed. We grab airship development for more airship range. Yeah. Not a rush, but we'll pick it up. Okay, nothing to spend there. And we can spend up to 85 here. Because the production tech just finished. Okay. Let's grab some fighter development so that the Ottoman fighters can be decent. And then we're into purchasing and/or diplomacy. Grab another Austrian corps. Probably artillery if we want the Ottomans to really help out on the Western Front. So we'll save up for the artillery. Okay, let's cycle the turn, and we'll see how the Entente handles the near collapse of the near collapse of the Russian Empire. German morale is boosted by use of unrestricted naval warfare. USA protests the use of unrestricted naval warfare. Entente naval units north of Scotland blockade imports to Germany and in the North Sea. Germany develops fighter development level 2, so the fighters will need upgrades. Breakthrough on the anti-submarine warfare. Breakthrough on the armored warfare development. Okay. Ottomans get logistics level 3. Industrial tech 66%. Extra snowy for the Entente on the Western Front. Probably so on the Eastern Front as well. They brought the dreadnought up to put down the torpedo boat. Well, the torpedo boat is least replaceable, so not too concerned about that. If anything, the more annoying thing is I just gave national morale to the Italians. Russians are still attacking, even though they are quite foobar from a national morale standpoint. I think we're literally at the point where if we just destroy two of their units, they give up. You're not probably running back off to port. Suffers attritional losses on the HQ. Russia... Oh, it doesn't even get around back to my turn. Russia surrenders. There goes Russia. Ottoman Empire gains territory in the Caucasus. Transcaucasania Democratic Federal Republic formed. Ukraine declares independence. Romania gains Bessarabia. Crimean People's Republic declares independence from Russia. Estonia declares independence from Russia. Latvia declares independence from Russia. Lithuania declares independence from Russia. Germany controls the administration of Polish Russia. USA protests the use of unrestricted naval warfare. We're disrupting 4 convoy lines. Top naval units north of Scotland are blockading imports, as well as in the North Sea, yeah. Japanese destroyers hunt German commerce raiders in the Ocean. Kaiser Karl dismisses his chief of staff Konrad von Hotzendorf. British national morale falls below 50%. Italian national morale falls below 50%. We lost a torpedo boat and some damage from bombing, but otherwise not a bad turn for us. U-14 does 11 MPP, and there's some more braiding. Yeah. Importance of Ukrainian grain supplies. Now that we've taken Russia out of the war, it is important we do not lose our strong position in the east. We are currently receiving grain imports from Ukraine, and these imports are very useful in maintaining the German people's determination to continue the war until victory. If we do not maintain sufficient forces near Warsaw to discourage hostile attempts to overthrow the new Ukrainian government, then we risk losing these imports. This could be catastrophic, so to ensure that 4 German units are kept at all times within 8 hexes of Warsaw. To fully benefit from the economic and morale benefits of the Ukrainian grain, we should keep 12 German units within this radius if possible. We've got the Ottoman maritime bombers, the Asian Corps, and the 1st Marine Corps. The Ottomans, we've got some detachments, which can now be deployed in Poland, which is good, because that's one of the reasons we got the detachments. And the Guard Corps has been repaired and is ready for redeployment in the west. We have another Austro-Hungarian destroyer. And 2 more Austro-Hungarian corps. So yeah, with that end turn, Russia's out of the war. So we now have to get either the British or the French national morales to 0, or we need to just get them to surrender by occupying their capitals. So British national morale is at 48%, French national morale is at 42%, and the Italian national morale is at 48%. And of course, the Russians are out of the war. Casualty-wise, is at this point, the Russians, who were just kicked out of the war, have suffered 43% of all casualties in the war. The UK actually being the next biggest at 22. Although this is including miners, right? So, I think the Belgian miners fall in here, the Greek miners fall in here. Serbia and Montenegro, I believe, of that hunk. 6, 3, and so 10% of the losses are Central Powers. The rest are the Entente. So 101 units destroyed, Russian units destroyed before the end of the war. They are out. They will not be back in. 52 British, 29 French, 16 Italian. Although I think that's including 1 Italian mine. So that's the loss rate at the moment. Obviously, the war goes on until one of these two be kicked out of the war. Is the tooltip going to play along? Let us know. Yeah, so about 25,000 national morale for the British. And about 20,000, 19 to 20,000 for the French. Paris is worth 10,000. So the question is, will we blow up about 9,000 national morale worth of French getting to Paris? And we haven't taken Nancy. We'll probably end up taking that along the way. We'll probably take Belfort along the way. Those are both national morale objectives. If I had the units, is that a national morale objective as well? No, that's just a supply objective. So we've got 3 French national morale objectives that we'll take on the way to and including Paris. And that combined with probably the troop destruction will award us the victory. And that's the plan for the rest of the stream, is begin bringing troops back from the Eastern Front and begin the big push. The big push west. Okay. Well, here the plan is obviously fairly easy. Recon there. Break through to Suez. And crush the... Oh, that's all the shells I had. Okay. That'll probably be enough. Crush these British HQs. Yeah, we've pushed across the Suez Canal. We've hit their recon planes, and there's other than a couple detachments and the one cavalry corps, Egypt is ours. So we'll overrun Egypt, and then we'll probably get the Bulgarians back on the rail line and ship them back out in the Western Front. We'll probably have one corps or something run down, pick up the rest of the Italian points, or the UK points in Egypt. You need resupply. Though, not that desperately. Yeah, you know it's not a great day for you when the subs are hunting you when you're supposed to be hunting the subs. Are you in strike range? No. interesting. Oh, here's the armor carrier. Armor carrier. I should have you upgraded before we send you over. Should go over prepared. We're gonna hold that off for one turn. Right now, that airship is in a slightly annoying place because it is actually blocking naval landings. Well, non-amphibious transport naval landings, which may be the kind I want to be wrong with. Five is tempting, but when you recover. Okay. Preparations are beginning for some fairly large actions. Oh, I probably didn't need to upgrade the detachment there. Whoops. We probably do want you fully healed before we send you out to the Western Front. Okay, so I need to keep 4 units within here. That's partially why we've got a bunch of detachments, because detachments count. It's also, if we hide there, it's blue, which means we've actually got 4 there already. It's not going to give us a good indication if we've got 12, but we'll do our best. The artillery here. You got upgrades? You got upgrades. I suppose before I do too much on the Eastern Front here, let's do the Western Front. Artilleries have upgrades. Yeah, okay. Fighters, do you have upgrades? Yes. Okay, so this is some very vulnerable units. Promptly saying it very well. Yeah, I'm seeing vulnerable units. Not gonna just swing at them. I think I can resist taking their spots though. Okay. So that's the Western Front for the moment. We got a sub that both needs to heal and repair, or get upgraded. We'll do the first heal, because we don't want to be one hit point wonder and get, like, bombed or something. That would be... it's not worth upgrading it if it's destroyed. Yes. You know, if that report is correct... Torpedoes strike the Dreadnought. You're low on supplies, so you should be returning home. We're running awfully close to Scapa Flow, so there's a decent possibility that we'll run into someone if we take the short route back. So we're going to go on silent. Your supply's getting a little low, so we're going to start having you come back. Hit the destroyer right at the end of the line. Okay, that raider won't be raiding this turn, but... No finds reconnaissance-wise. And yeah, nothing down there. Okay, so what we've got left as far as MPP should either be used to upgrade the troops we want to ship westward, or heal them, or ship them. You're upgraded, your artillery, you're valuable, let's get you shipped. Because then we can start shelling in multiple locations. You want a rail line? Yeah, same thing. Okay. That button. Oh, you have the mobility upgrade. That's why it's slightly cheaper to operate it. Detachments march towards Warsaw. So we got 8 detachments that I know of. 9 detachments that I know of. I don't know if the Austro-Hungarian ones count. So I'm going to assume that they don't. Although that means we'll just have 14 there, because we'll keep the 2 Austro-Hungarian ones over here as well. Austria-Hungary has decent funds, although the Austro-Hungarian ones probably should be used. Well, they will be used on the Austro-Hungarians, of course. Heal, 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 heal. Not going to over-reinforce any of them. Upgrades. And those of you who've done a naval landing on Italy before are probably guessing what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on coming up the boot. Because I don't think we can shove more into the top of the boot. I think we got the top of the boot handled. So that leaves us one logical place to go after that, and that is the bottom of the boot. Okay. So that's Austria-Hungary. I got enough that I could probably operate the HQ over. Some better command down in the south. I can do one of the other ones up here as well. Duke Albrecht. North. And now it's just the Ottomans. The Ottomans... Well, the Ottomans have got lots of stuff to do. Don't think I can operate you to anywhere I'd want to go. No, because we definitely need Mesopotamia at this point for sending the new troops. Okay. And then purchase / research. Did the Ottomans finish anything? They did. Looks like they finished logistics, which is good for what we're doing right now. Let's grab them long-range aircraft. And then purchase-wise, the Ottomans... do we have an airship in the queue for them? Looks like we don't. Let's grab an airship in the queue for them. Grab them a sub. Okay. So, one major down, 2 to go. Cycling the turn to see how the Entente is handling the situation deteriorating. Especially down in Egypt. The situation in Egypt is deteriorating faster than it is on the Western Front. The Western Front, after these artillery pieces start to sing, is not going to look good either. French morale is affected by the Russian defeat. British morale is affected by the Russian defeat. Ottoman morale is boosted by the defeat of Russia. Germany celebrates the defeat of Russia. Austria-Hungary celebrates the defeat of Russia. Ah, okay. So I hadn't even accounted for the fact that we hadn't got the national morale changes for the Russian defeat yet. So that's going to weaken France even more. And we did get our diplomatic success, so Netherlands is moving back towards us. I think there's some French subs up in the Baltic. Oh. Being hit by some rough seas. Command and control level 3, okay. Armored warfare level 2, so we can start the construction for our tanks. Our first batch of tanks. Gas and shell level 3. Develops fighter level 1. Spying intelligence level 1. Advancement in logistics. Infantry weapons 2 for the Ottomans. Fighter development. Okay, your interceptor's taking less damage. Saying that we're at least up to, I think, parity with our fighters, if not superiority at this point. Is that the entirety of the Entente bombardment? Well, it looks like we might have a penetration here. Yeah, that sub's gonna have to go back to port. Preparedness movement calls for USA to join or to prepare for war. Okay. Workers in northern Italy strike for better conditions. Central powers disrupt 3 trade convoys. Units north of Scotland are blockading and in the North Sea. Here we go. Not a lot of Libyan Italian convoys going, but that's... Oh, and at this point, Egypt's maybe not doing the best, so Egypt's also down, even though we got raiders on that line. So the 1020, 34, 48 MPP from raiding. Kaiser Karl, following Konrad von Hotzendorf's dismissal from his position as the Chief of the General Staff, he has requested a command in the field. Providing him with the necessary logistical support will cost us 200 MPP, the cost of 50 MPP a turn for 4 turns. Would you like to provide Hotzendorf a field command, or shall we let him retire into obscurity? Having failed to lead the Empire's forces to victory, Kaiser Karl dismissed von Hotzendorf, replacing him with the Chief of the General Staff with Arthur Ars von Straubenberg. Von Hotzendorf was then appointed to command on the Italian front, which I think is what we're going to give him. We're gonna give him command, field command. We're going to basically send him to the Italian front. Here is the Ottoman fighter and bomber. We'll put them on the rail line. I don't know if I'm going to send them west or if I'm going to keep them in the east. Oops, I didn't put the second one on the rail line. Whoops. That'll probably be fine. Okay, looking at the time, I should put a part break in here. And this is probably a good place to put the part break instead of doing part of the turn. So we'll do the whole turn after I get back from this break. But yeah, we're moving. The defeat of Russia has lowered the national morales. Get the tooltip here. Okay, we're not going to get an exact breakdown. Tooltip does not want to play along. Maybe if over some land will play along a little bit better. There we go. So we got 13 going on 14,000 national morale. We need to get out of the French. Paris itself was worth 10,000. So we're literally at the point where it's just get to Paris. Defeat what's between you and Paris, and we'll get there. National morale-wise, we're up to 143% as the Germans, 130% as the Austro-Hungarians, and even the Ottomans are up to 68%. The British are down to 41, the French are down to 30. It actually makes the Italians the happiest of the remaining Entente members. Although the Italian national morale can be a little bit deceptive. The Italians don't get a lot, so their percentage is doesn't take much to move theirs. I'm not gonna try to get the tooltip to come up. But yeah, so we're gonna try coming up the boot, trying to land on the boot while we push into the top of the boot, while we push the western front. The artillery pieces are in place, so the artillery pieces will begin to sing. We got more planes coming in. Those will get operated over. And yeah, I think this is just going to turn into splat enough cores, and they won't be able to resist the advance. Rinse and repeat till it is done. This is where we're going to put the part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, the next part will be after I make a fresh cup of tea. So it'll take a little bit longer than the usual 3-minute short break. But we'll be back once the tea is made, and the offensive will continue. It is April. There is a whole summer before the weather gets in the way at this point. Oh, poor Entente. They will have a bad day. So until next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next one, and bye for now.